Welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Hector Montalvo. Today, we are talking about public access. What is public access and how is it funded? Joining us here today at our MCTV studios to answer those questions, we have Samantha Silva. Ms. Silva, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How you doing?
I'm well, thanks.
What is public access?
Well, I think public access is different depending on where you are, how it's run, obviously. Personally, I work for Groton Cable Access. We call it the Groton Channel in Groton, Mass. And the way we run our programming, really it's for the community. It's basically funded by the community. There's a small fee that comes out in a cable bill for everybody in the town, and so it's their money, so we're there for them. Things that they want to produce, they're certainly welcome to come in. We'll train them to use our equipment. Anything they want to do, they're free to do, and we'll air it for them.
When you say it's funded, how is it funded?
There's a small fee that comes out in everybody's cable bill, also grants and things from the town. We are our employees at our channel. We're technically town employees. We aren't, we're not employees of the Groton Channel. We're Groton, Mass employees.
Do you have a board of directors?
We do.
Are they elected or are they appointed?
Nope, they are appointed, and every single one of them actually is very active members at our channel. So.
They are.
Yeah.
Now, how does someone become a member of a public access?
For our public access, we don't necessarily have members. What we call them, they're volunteers. Okay. So what we ask of them, of course we'll let anybody use anything we have, but what we ask of them to be volunteers, we'd ask that we train them on our equipment, just because it's very expensive equipment. We don't want anything to happen to it, but that's all they really have to do, send an email, come in, hey, I want to do this, okay, no problem. So that's kind of how we work ours.
What are some of the benefits that a member or volunteer have when they join a public access, things such as yourself?
I think a lot of benefits. It's good for people in the community to come out. They'll videotape anything they want, parades, plays. We just had a volunteer of ours. I don't even know if they've not done much with us before, but we had taught them how to use a camera 2 weeks prior. They did a play that their kid was in, did it, gave it back to us. We edited it for them because they don't know how to use Final Cut. Edited it for them, put it on the air, and we have a bunch of people that are, oh, can I have a copy of this? I'm so glad you had somebody do it. So, I mean, it's very beneficial.
Nice. What kind of shows can a member do on public access? On
our channel, anything they want. We can't tell them no. Anything that they want to air from other towns, or we have somebody who made a short documentary for a class that wanted it aired, is not a Groton resident, so one of our volunteers signed up for it. So, I mean, we air that as well. So we air kind of a mixture of everything.
So you can have different shows, children's shows, mayor shows, and a whole 9 yards, sell jewelry or teach people stuff like that.
We are actually located in Groton Dunstable High School, so we have a lot of involvement from the students of the high school, and just different things that they do in some video production classes and things like that we throw right on the air. Whether they're 4 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, we'll put it on for them. They like to see it.
So if you live in Groton, can that mean, can someone from Methuen or someone that lives in Lowell go to Groton and be able to use their facilities and their equipment as well?
Absolutely, if you're there with somebody from Groton. So if your best friend was from Groton and you guys wanted to produce something, absolutely, you are more than welcome to come in and use our equipment.
And what about as far as they're using equipment? Once they learn how to use the equipment, is there any oversight as to how they're producing shows? Let's start in the control room. I know, do you have a control room? Mm-hmm. And that control room consists of what? Having what type of equipment in a control room?
You have an audio board, a switcher, graphics, a couple DVD players. We pretty much try and show people where things are and what is going to make what do what. And once they have that down, it's free for them to do. If they need help, we're there for help. I certainly have, me and the director, we have no problem helping people. That's what we're there for. But certainly when there's an in-studio production, if somebody's producing a show, we don't have any say in what they do. We basically are responsible for making sure they know how to use the equipment so they can do what they want to do. We help them do what they want to do. We don't sit in the control room or, but if they need help, we assume they'll ask.
So all the shows that come out of public access, is it all volunteer produced, or is there some shows that are produced by staff members as well?
No, we don't produce anything. The only things that technically, I guess you could say, we produce is if somebody doesn't know how to edit or whatever, we'll do it for them and put it on the air. But other than that, we don't have our own show that we produce. We're looking to do start a weekly news program that we're looking for it to be a half hour. So we just put out a few posts trying to get volunteers to come in and do some stories, and we're putting together classes that we can teach to help people. We know not everybody's a professionally trained journalist, so help people create a news package so it's not so difficult for them. So we're hoping we can get some volunteers so we can have a half-hour show. If we can't, then we can't. We'll do it for 15 minutes. But
with a lot of different issues out there facing a lot of different people, have you seen public access increase as far as people coming in to public access to want to be able to get on camera and speak their mind, freedom of speech, show their ideas? Is that taking...
For us, we have one person who's an attorney, a local attorney. He comes in and does a lot of political things, and I think it's good. It's nice for him because he can do what he wants. He can state his opinion for things. So he certainly takes advantage of that opportunity. We don't necessarily have an increased amount of it, but he's one that does.
What about a mayor or a town manager in your area?
We do a show with the police force, Groton Dunstable. We call it Groton Dunstable 911, where the Groton police chief and the Dunstable police chief come in and they do a show together. Some of the high school kids work the control room. They pretty much produce the whole thing. And it's just like different safety tips for the month, and so that's what. Other than that, we don't have anything political. We don't have the town manager coming in, but we run school committee, we run town meetings.
And again, it's produced by volunteers and staff members, or just strictly all volunteers?
Pretty much all volunteers. I don't do any. If they need me, if they're missing a camera person or something, I'm certainly happy to run the camera for them, or if they need somebody to do audio. But other than that, we don't really take much
Really?
part
So
of it.
if public access was short-staffed, as far as volunteers, they should be able to go out, and the paid staff should be able to volunteer in the shows that they want to create and produce?
Yeah, I think that's okay. I mean, I would rather us go in and help them if they need the help rather than them be short a camera person or something and not be able to do the show and have to reschedule. And so it's just a lot easier. But for the most part, our people are very good with coming in, being on time, having more than enough crew. And as I said, it's we are in the high school, so there's always high school kids around playing on our Final Cut suites, and so there's always extra people around the station. So.
Nice. What about the volunteers? How are they welcomed when they come into your public access? Let's say Groton, they come in. Are they greeted any way, or how do you make your members feel?
I certainly think they feel very comfortable being there. They come in and they know exactly what they need to do. They kind of go in, hey, how are you? You know, it's always very nice to see our volunteers. We'd like to have as many people there as possible all the time.
Nice. And you guys have board meetings and members meetings and all that stuff?
Yeah, we have once a month we have a board meeting, and it's at the station, and it doesn't really usually last more than an hour. It's just pretty much they get some things signed, and that's about it.
Nice. So do you pass out awards in these board meetings, or certificates of any kind? Or?
No, we don't have... we don't do that as of right now, and we don't really have plans to do it. We just, one of our productions, we do a live production every Thursday. And again, we don't help with that. They know how to get it on live. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's run smoothly every week. The kids know exactly what they're doing. The host knows exactly what they're doing. It's very smooth. And they just won an ACM award up in Concord at the awards.
Really?
Banquet a few weeks ago, yeah. So they do a very good job with it.
Well, congratulations. I know that MCTV won some awards as well. Some volunteers and also some staff members also produced some shows here as well. And they've ended up getting awards. So you mentioned that your board of directors are appointed in some cases, and I understand that in some other public access they are elected as well. Do you have any knowledge how that would...
Not very much. I'm pretty positive, 90% sure that they're...
members would be voting for particular members.
I believe that the town manager selects a group, and that's kind of how it goes. But like I said, everybody that is on our committee team is all very active members. So they're all people that are there, want to be there all the time, are very interested in it, care about it.
So public access is funded by, it's public funding because if the people are paying their cable bills, basically it's their building,
Right.
they have the camera equipment,
Exactly.
it's accessible to them and so on. So all shows that are produced should be by volunteers, basically?
I think they absolutely should be. I mean, it's there for them. It's not.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where it's more. You see a lot of public access television, but you see more production by staff members in some of the other local access. Should that be happening, or should it just strictly be volunteers getting more airtime than the actual studios that are airing?
The only way I
and producing
can
shows?
see that happening is if you have an extreme lack of volunteerism, which we don't. We're lucky enough that we don't. We have great volunteers. But, I mean, I guess if you don't have a lack of volunteerism, you're not really doing your job anyways. But, no, we don't have, like I said, we're going to start a news program, and we don't really plan for it to be me and the director on air the whole time. It's just, that's not what it's for. It's about community and town events, and, so we figure we'll let the community do the town events and report on them, and it'll be good for people. It's different, and I think people enjoy it.
And it's their building. They should have the right to come out, and you have the freedom of speech. I mean, you have issues that, a lot of issues out there that people want to address, and the Main Street media doesn't just cover each in particular. So public access is a real good thing. What are some of the other good benefits that members can expect out of the Groton area as far as public access?
I think it's good because anything that they want to do, we're always there to tape all the games and things like that, and I think people really enjoy that. It's nice for the high school kids. What kid doesn't want to see themselves on TV? It's fantastic, and everything is there for them. They want copies, absolutely no problem. It'll be ready today. People love it, and it's just things that maybe you can't go out to get to an event, and we're there to cover it for you, or we have somebody that's willing to go out and cover it for you. I think it's great.
How many shows air on public access? Do you have time frames as to when they air, or is it running all day?
Well, we are on air all day between our bulletin when we don't have programs going, so we have a community bulletin. But for the most part, our program schedule is full most of the time because we have, like I said, we have so many people coming in. Can you play this? Can you run this? And anything that somebody runs, if I can run it every day, I will. If they want. They like that small documentary I was talking about. If I have time to run it every day, I will. So you are getting a lot of people, a lot of memberships, and so on coming in. Yeah, definitely.
Now, do people pay to be a member? In some cases, I understand that some public access do charge members to be a member to teach you how to use.
No. We're happy to take anybody. They've already paid technically.
I know Lynn definitely has a system that you have to go in and actually pay to become a member. What are some of the other shows that you have seen created out there through public access that's been a success?
We have the people that do our live show. They also do a show called Local Dish, and it's basically the woman that hosts our live show and two other people, and they pretty much just talk about the town in general, what's going on. They try and promote community, the local businesses and things like that. And we've had other community access stations call and ask if they can run it. So we're running in Pepperell and Townsend and somewhere else that we're running that. So, there's plenty of stuff going on. People are always producing different things. We're more than happy to take things from other people and run them as well.
Now, once they produce a show on your local access, there's other ways of them being able to distribute those shows to other communities.
Right.
Do you know how do they go about doing that?
Well, if somebody wants, like that show, Local Dish that we do, if they want to distribute it to other communities, they can send out emails. Would you care to run our show? This is what it is, or put it on Peg Media website. And people can certainly download it that way. We do take a few shows that we import and we play them, but we also have a schedule during the week where we have those shows run, which creates plenty of time for our own productions.
Is there ever a fee involved in any of the shows, tapes or anything like that may go along with productions?
That we produce? No.
Yeah. So there's no fees whatsoever?
Yeah, we're lucky enough that we we're funded well.
And the members don't have to pay no fee whatsoever, and I know some of the
All they
other
have to do is
areas,
walk through the door.
that's all they have to do, and show that they actually live in the town. Although it's not necessary, it doesn't have to be where you do live in that particular town. You do have the right to go to another town and produce a show there as well, I think you said?
They can come along to our station as long as they have somebody from the town. If they're doing something with someone from the town, absolutely, they're more than welcome.
Now, who's allowed to use your equipment? Is it just the members, or can it be the people, let's say they bring people with them?
Yep, they can use it as well. Yep.
Really? That's interesting to know. How big is in population over there?
Oh boy, small. I don't know right off the top of my head, but certainly not large. It's a large area land-wise, but it's small population.
So you have a big studio, you have different sets. Who
We're down
does
in
your
the
sets?
high school, so we have we have a studio, we have a set that's there all the time for our live show. It's always stays there because it's big and it was professionally made and it's very nice. And then our control room, the room where we have our servers, and then 2 edit suites and an office. And my office is an edit suite. If anybody needs to use, I'm more than happy to get kicked out of my office. It's not a big deal. I can find things to do.
Now, what about setting up of the sets? Who does that? Is it the members themselves or the staff? Or
The members themselves, if they're there to produce a show, they set up their set however they'd like.
Now, do they bring in their sets, or do public access provide?
They can do whatever they'd like. They can use whatever we have there. If they want to bring in things of their own, they're certainly welcome to do that as well. We have a nice green screen that a lot of people like to use as well.
Nice. Do you guys do like any live news reporting, anchor desk, and weather charts or anything like that?
Nope, that's what we're trying to integrate in with our new show. We'd like it eventually to become live, but I mean, it is what it is right now. We're trying to get it off the ground in January.
A lot of work to go through that as well. What about some of the other shows that may have come out of public access that you're aware of that have taken off for people?
I know there's one, I believe in Needham, it's Needham or Newton or Wellesley, I believe they do live, and it's a news show, and I mean, worked a long time on it, so your results are what you put into it. So
and volunteers do get some award each year. It's my understanding that there is contests, and you submit tapes of shows that you have done. What are some of the awards that people can win? Certificates, or maybe a lunching or something like that?
Like I said, we just had that one from the live news program that we do. They won the awards in Concord, but we don't give out awards as a station. We don't really separate people into, maybe yours was better than this person. And I mean, there's really no reason to do it.
Right.
They're there to do what they want, not what everybody else wants. They're not there to be the best of it. I mean, you're there to do something specific. It is what it is.
Again, the volunteers will get the ones who created the show will get it, not any staff member.
Right, no, because we don't really have anything to do with it. Like I said, we don't even really oversee it. We're just there. If you need help, we're an extra person to help you.
Is there an application process or a waiting period to become a member?
Nope, there's no, like I said, it's not really, we don't call them members, we call them volunteers. So there's no real fee, there's no application, there's nothing. Just we suggest you take the class so we can teach you how to use things so you can be better at it for yourself. So it's easier for you to produce what you want to produce.
Is it one set of the industry that it's harder to teach a volunteer when they come in? Let's say operating camera might be easier than the control room. Do you find that people have more problems operating one over the other, or?
I think we make it simple enough where it's not difficult to do anyways, and the interest is so high that it becomes easier for them to learn because they actually pay attention. Classes aren't long. It's just really a quick tutorial instruction. More or less, what are you looking to do? You tell me what you're looking to do, and I'll show you, I'll help you do that. And if you think you need more training, then I'm more than happy to train you further. Just so you can I want to make sure you can do what you want to do.
So if you're able to have a good crew controlling the control room, you're confident that you don't need to be in the control room to watch, oversee what they're doing, and you basically let them produce their shows.
If they're confident that I don't have to be there, sure. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It's their show, not mine. So if they feel confident enough that, I mean, if you want me to be here, I will. You know, but if you're confident enough you can do it by yourself, by all means, do it by yourself.
Nice.
You know.
So, what are some of the other things that members or volunteers can come in to local access and do? I mean, besides producing a show, you mentioned there's editing and so on. What is editing for those that may not know?
Editing, we run on Final Cut. It's a program run on Macs. It's really standard for most people, for most stations. Not very hard to use, very user-friendly. You get the basics, you can go from there, you can figure a lot of things out by yourself. You know, our volunteers, more than most times, they go out, shoot a game. We have a bunch of people that like the high school basketball games. They'll go out, do the basketball games, come in, they'll edit it how they want it. If they want the hour-and-a-half basketball game to be 10 minutes, so be it. It'll be 10 minutes. Here you go. Here's our final copy. Can you put it on? Sure.
What about borrowing equipment? Let's say they needed to take, you mentioned that you have a lot of members that come out and use your equipment. Is there time slots that you sign out the camera? Is there a time you have to return the cameras back?
They can have it as long as they want. We just ask, you know, that you're considerate to others. We only have a limited supply of equipment. Just sign it out, basically put a date down when you're going to have it back, and that's that, just so we know how many cameras we have. So when somebody comes in and says, hey, I want a camera at 2 o'clock, you know, we know if we have it for them or not.
So if they wanted to take a camera out, obviously they're going to be producing a show. Does that come with microphones? What type of stuff comes with the actual camera?
Most of our volunteers pretty much know what they need. They're very good at it. So they'll come in and say, hey, I need a mic, I need a stand, I need this, I need this. Can you get it for me? Sure. Put it all up for them, write it down, here you go, sign this, you're all set. Let me know, just write down when you're going to have it back, all set.
And what about setting up time for studio use? Is there, what is allowed as far as time frame to use the studio?
As long as you need. Like I said, we have 2 editing suites. Also, the director's office could be used for editing as well. And we're always more than happy to give up our office for somebody to edit. It's really, I mean, we have limited space, but I mean, if we have it, it's there for them, so.
Now, you say you had 2 paid staff members at your...
Yep, the director of the station and myself.
Okay, and basically, how do people needed to come in and wanted to make an appointment to see the studio, or they wanted to find out more information about the Groton studio, how do they go about reaching you?
They can reach us by telephone or by email. We have a website as well, or just come in. I mean, not a big deal. We're always there for them, you know. If they come in, they want to see the studio, not a problem.
What's your time of operation?
We are there 10 to 6, Monday through Friday.
And you're closed on the weekends?
Yes. Yeah.
So, public access is important to people that have different issues or have ideas as far as creating stuff and wanting to get their issues out there. So public access is a benefit to the community.
Absolutely.
And it's public funding. It's funded by the cable company, the payments that the individuals make to pay their cable. So that's all funded. So basically, they have all the equipment. The people out there have cameras. They have the help that they need, that they can use to be able to learn how to edit, take the field camera out, do shows, microphones. So you have audio. So basically, they're all set. So if people are not coming to do public access, they're really missing out on a very important thing that's already paid for them, right?
Absolutely, and I think sometimes people may miss out because maybe it's not advertised. I don't even want to use the word advertised, but not announced enough. I think most people don't even realize what it's there for.
Should it be advertised? I mean, should public access advertise the fact that it's public access, this is yours, come on in, take a look, try it?
I think so, because other than that, your equipment just sits there and gets dusty. You know, and it's expensive. It's expensive. Everything that has to do with public access is expensive. It's there for the community, I certainly think it's beneficial if you have staff go out and try and recruit people to come in. Hey, this is what we're offering in case you didn't know. I certainly think that's beneficial.
And that would be the staff or the executive directors, their jobs.
I mean, you could even, word of mouth from volunteers as well. I mean, go to the public library or wherever. Hey, I volunteer for public access all the time. It's great. We do this. Maybe you didn't know.
Now, do you guys have a website also where some of these shows can be published on your actual website?
Yep. We also have a Facebook, and we're on Twitter as well. We post most of our shows the day they're produced. So if you don't have, you don't have access to a television or you care to view things online, we post it right away so our community can see it.
So if I went to Groton and I wanted to run a behind the scenes with Hector Montalvo show in Groton, would I be able to pick my own time slot as to what time slot I would want to have my show played, what days I would like to play? Mm-hmm. Is there a restriction as to how many times?
We have a bunch of time available. We do have things that have certain time slots as well, but I mean, we would show you, here's our availability. What days were you thinking you wanted it run, or what times were you thinking? And let's say, oh, well, I was thinking 4 o'clock on Thursday. Well, we have something that runs at 4 o'clock on Thursday. How about 3:30 or 4:30? Does that work? So.
What about member representatives? Do you have member rep that is responsible to ensure the happiness of all the members?
We don't, but I don't think there's really a need for it. I think our members are, they're not afraid to say, hey, we think this, or I think this. Is there any way we can change it? I mean, we're very open to that.
And why have a member rep if we have a board of directors, right, and, we have an executive director that you can actually go in and bring your complaints and all that?
Yeah, everybody's very accessible, so.
Oh, I appreciate it. Well, is there anything else that you want to share about public access to the viewing audience? I mean, our show is going to be broadcast throughout the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We also post it on Bleep TV, Peg Media as well. YouTube, we put up some posting. But as far as Groton, anything you want to say in regards to?
I just hope that people take more advantage of their public access. Like we said, it is there for them. You already paid for it. I mean, and it's free, really. It's there. You do what you want. It's there for you. So I really hope that people take more advantage of it.
Yeah, and come out and enjoy your public building with the cameras, and if you can recruit volunteers, you can create yourself a good show and deliver some of the issues that you believe in, or show some of the ideas that you may have. I mean, Ms. Silva, it was a pleasure having you come in today on Behind the Scenes. I want to thank the volunteers for helping out on the crew today. I want to thank the staff at MCTV. I want to thank you, the viewers, for watching. Join us next time as we go behind the scenes to ask the tough questions, bring you their responses, and we let you decide. Thank you for watching.